Welcome to a new edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. On this episode, we talk with entrepreneur and sales expert Stephanie Bettis. She has spent half of her life working in sales and has always dreamed of a day where she could work for herself and set her family up for the type of success where they could travel anywhere and whenever they wanted and make amazing memories together. A little over a year ago, all of this changed as she got involved with the rental industry, and from that moment on, she knew that she wanted to jump in and change the course of her life. It's a great story. Enjoy. Thank you for taking a minute out.
Yes, thank you for being patient with me. My first experience with this, so I am all ears and excited.
Okay, excellent. That's wonderful. I want to begin our conversation before we get into your life and sales by asking you, right now, 4 years ago, this pandemic started. We were all wrapping our heads around it. And now that we're out of it, how did you survive that pandemic period and how did it change you?
Yes, good question. So I recently, I had my third baby in November of 19. So that hit us big time because she is our COVID baby, we call it. Luckily, my husband, he is in tech sales. So his company actually thrived during COVID. I was laid off from pharmaceuticals. So it's this balance with 5 of us at home. What is happening to our world? Are we dying inside? But I also, on a side note, run a drug testing company that's in San Francisco. So that soared equally because it's a contract that's with the San Francisco Public Utilities. So drug testing, no matter what, continued with building out San Francisco water, sewer. And then we implemented COVID testing for these job sites. So it was kind of a whirlwind of thinking, how are we going to survive financially and then just in general in health? But we were so fortunate that both of our businesses kept us afloat and indoors and arts and crafts and homeschooling. And it was wild. So from that point, we just thought when we came out of it, since I'd left the pharmaceutical world, I don't know if I would have if I didn't get laid off. But at that point, it was like, what am I going to do next besides have this newborn, take a little time with her? And what new venture can I start manifesting? And what would it be in this real estate? Real estate is where this all triggered, which has led me to what I'm doing now with this arbitrage model. But we were fortunate enough that my brain grew stronger, our finances grew stronger, but it was just tough being inside.
Yeah, it was. It
Yes.
certainly was. So let me get an exact handle on what you do right now for a living. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of third graders at career day, and one of the curious kids looks up and says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer that child?
Yes. So I say I run a couple businesses. I run an on-site drug and alcohol testing company, which what that means is when you look at all of these buildings and homes and roads, anything that's being built from the ground up, my company will go out there and do on-site drug testing, meaning to keep everybody safe building on these projects so that these projects can blossom and be fruitful, but everyone's healthy and safe. And my other business is where I then, what is called, if you see a whole bunch of houses in your neighborhood and your surrounding areas on your way to school, I then rent those out to travelers that are traveling from all over the world to come and stay as if they're in hotels, but they get to stay in big houses with their family and friends. And I make sure the houses are pretty and I decorate them and I put them on all these booking channels where your families can book trips and go visit friends and family and explore new places. And that is what I do every single day.
So what did you want to be in the third grade? What was your dream?
I thought I wanted to be an orthodontist. I grew out of that very fast when I was grossed out by teeth and mouths. And then I went through a phase of wanting to be a kindergarten teacher. So that's funny you asked that. But I kind of fell into the drug testing world because my mom started it. And then out of college, they were giving me like an ultimatum almost saying, we are willing to send you to travel for 6 months, or do you want to get straight to work? And I said, I want to get straight to work because I'm tired of you guys having to pay for everything. And literally the next day, my mom handed everything over to me and said, good luck.
Wow.
I know. But in hindsight, I wish I would have traveled because I worked really hard through I went through a full ride to college on volleyball scholarship. So I paid my dues in working hard and good grades. So I wish I would have capitalized on that 6 month travel, but that's okay.
So let me ask you this. In your life, you're obviously very highly motivated. Who's
Yeah.
been kind of an inspiration or a hero for you?
Yes. I don't want it to sound too cliche, but truly my parents are amazing. Anything I want to do, like off the wall, my head is always thinking of new creations, new inventions, new ideas. What business can I start? How can I grow our business currently? And they've never, like I've read, just reading books and podcasts and mindset reprogramming, and how many times I hear people just saying, as a kid, how many times they're like, you can't do that, or you won't succeed, or just naysayers. And they have never, not once, they're always like, you could do it. You will always figure it out. Reach your dreams, support, support, support. And so for me, it's them, because they always made me feel like I could accomplish anything. And I think that's why my mind never settles or rests, just to challenge, take on new challenges and try something new and just continue to grow until I hit the big bang.
So in the world of business, the thing about business, that the businesses that rise up, say like an Amazon, is that it's a little bit like sports. It's like we're all fans. We watch this rise to prominence. We get involved with the products. Is there a business model out there that you admire or that's inspirational for you?
Yes. I love the business model that I jumped into, which is short-term rental arbitrage. And if you have you heard of that?
Yes.
Yes. So that's what I jumped into a little over a year ago, just from hearing a podcast while driving. I wanted to own our first property. And I thought, do we take this, our safety net, all of it, to purchase a home in Charlotte, to not even know if short-term rentals even work? And, if I'm going to dump all this money into a down payment, does it work? Will it fall off? Will it be as disruptive as it used to be? Kind of like Uber, Amazon. And so I ran across that podcast that I heard people were not needing to use not having to have one, using someone else's, turning it around and hosting on these booking channels. And I started researching like crazy. Like, does it work? What's the net profit? How much does it cost to invest? How much to furnish? How do I get on these softwares? Read a ton, podcasts, Google, YouTube, and I did it. I jumped in 14 months ago, and now I'm on my fourth property. And I love this business model. It's been, next to the drug testing was awesome and still is, to go to a site instead of everyone having to go to wait in these walk-in clinics and downtime from all of the equipment that they're having to operate and pay on. Love that, but it's kind of old now, outdated. This is the new way for me, because it's disruptive. These Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com is disruptive in the hotel world, and a new way of travel. So for me, right now, riding this gravy train has become my new obsession, without having to own my own properties and not having to invest a ton in the down payment. So at first, I thought I was going to take my net profit in my first 1 or 2 years, and then we'd go buy one. But then I'm like, why wouldn't I use this 70,000 and then do 10 more? So that's kind of where I'm at now in my new journey.
So if you could meet anybody alive on the planet right now that you find interesting or fascinating, who would that be?
Grant Cardone. I That's who I heard the podcast on. I don't know how I stumbled upon him. I know he's wild and aggressive and can rub people the wrong way, but his first book, I can't even remember what the first one I read. I just loved his story. I would love to meet him in person and just pick his brain and grab some of his energy and surround myself with that high energy and just see if he's like that all the time.
Yeah.
He's just who I am right now. If I think of others, I know I can come up with a ton, but he's kind of the one that has got me to this new chapter of my life.
So speaking of being highly motivated, what is that motivation for you every day to get up, to do the work that you do, to evolve as a human being? What is that overall gas in your tank?
I love that question. It's work every single day. It just doesn't come naturally. It's been a work in progress. I've always had it as a kid, but I've learned that I think from my parents who also have been entrepreneurs in all of their careers. I wake up, first of all, I wake up in the morning and right when my alarm goes off, I always say like this money mantra slash thankful, what I'm thankful for. So it's something I'm thankful for different every single morning. And I spend about 5 minutes doing that. So that when I step out of bed, it's just, I'm making my day, visualizing my day the way I want it to be. So out the gates, just no negative. I have this like countdown constantly, 3, 2, 1, a positive thought, a thankful thought. So it starts there for me. So I frame my day. But I think I do have a ton of energy that I can't sit still, but in a good way. I tackle everything. I look at my calendar. I spend my time in the morning working on the drug testing because it's West Coast. So it's early there. Everyone's going to the job sites for testing. I'm dispatching all the collectors. All the kids are ready. We're out the door by 6:50, back home, have my coffee, open my computer, tackle all of the guests, all of the responses, guests that are coming in, cleaners, organize all that, lunch, house things, whatever needs to be here, kids things, and we leave for sports at 4:30 every day and home by 8. So in those little windows, I've not mastered, I'm streamlining how these two businesses coincide so that I'm not working a ton, allowing me to be creative and still be present in daily kid world. But I do struggle with my mind never slowing down. I mean, it never stops thinking and manifesting and wanting more. So a lot of times people are always saying, calm down, Steph, relax, you're fine, you're doing too much. But I don't see it any other way.
So, of all of the clients and all of the professional accolades that you've collected, what's one of your favorite client success stories?
Ooh, good question. My favorite would be winning the bid for San Francisco Public Utilities Commission. It was a 2-year process for me fighting to get onto what is called a list of vendors that all construction companies would have to choose from for them to perform drug testing on these projects. And this is a contract that was already in place, and there was one company that was already assigned to it, and they were just covering all of San Francisco. And I had tried every single thing possible to get into the SFPUC and just be an option. I just wanted my name to be an option in our company. And after probably 10 no's and attending all of these board meetings and talking in front of the council, pleading my case, trying to get to the top of the SFPUC, not stopping was when I finally, and with a little luck, ran into 2 gentlemen who would come and eat in my dad's Italian restaurant in San Francisco every Friday. And I was telling them what I was doing with the drug testing. And they said, oh, we work at the SFPUC. I was like, what? And so they said, it's going to be a battle, but you're going to have to, build out this bid of what you can do and apply all your services, and just a pure fight to finally get approved once I talked to the head of the PUC and explained why, and just solely that they were sole sourcing with one company and there's enough to go around, and we were equally, an equal company that could be doing it. So after 2 years of battling, we are finally approved, and then we have been on that since 2010. And so we're almost grandfathered in, our company and then this other company that we fought so hard for. So that was probably the biggest win in my sales slash working career after a long push.
That's wonderful. So I'm curious, you have to dispense good advice to your clients. What's the best advice you've ever gotten?
For my clients in the drug testing world would be evolve, because we were only doing drug testing. And so as the industry grew and, hair follicles started coming in, and then on-site, like a one-stop shop, a full service, like a traveling van of a healthcare clinic that would do all trainings, all DOT, Department of Transportation, all breath alcohol, all hair follicles. Was that when we were working with other similar industry people in the drug testing world, they were saying, at one point, you need to evolve. This is going to go extinct. Other people are going to come out with bigger offers and quality to be delivered. And I remember thinking, yes, but how do I even start? I'd have to order doctors and open a brick and mortar and a clinic and a laboratory. So it was overwhelming at first, but we tried. We did 2 brick and mortars that didn't really succeed because on-site was still so high of a demand. But that's kind of that's one new challenge I didn't fully take on. I tried, but we didn't succeed in it. But I would say for someone I was younger at that time and someone older saying you need to grow and you need to think outside the box because this part won't be around for a while.
So, of all of the things that you've done professionally up to this point, what are you the proudest of?
I am proud of challenging myself in all of my careers. I'm proud of stepping into something so foreign and being able to be confident and strive to figure it out and learn something new. I would say when I got to Charlotte, I ran the drug testing, but I was bored here and I was like, what do I do? And I just had my second at that time, and his name's Braxton. He was 4 months. We moved here. And I said, I'm going to take 6 months and I'm going to be with him and, just get the house unpacked in this new place we've never lived. And then I unpacked and then it was twiddling my thumbs and I'm like, what can I do? Never had been in pharmaceuticals and never did sales with that type of industry. And so I just fought my way into finding anybody who would hire someone without experience, because in pharmaceuticals, a lot of times you need 5+ years. But I ran into a little company called Arbor Pharmaceuticals, and they liked people without experience because it can mold you. So my goal was to get into the industry and then start low, be number one so that I can meet a ton of people out in the field to then take that next jump with a higher base pay and then find a next one to reach where those people are at 5 and 10 years at their base pay at start. And so my first Arbor in the first 9 months, I became number one rep of my territory. Then I was picked up by Neos Therapeutics. And then my goal was to become number one as fast as I could. Did that in 7 months. And then I was picked up by CPG Pharma. And so I'm proud that in each one, I set my mind to it and it happened. And then COVID happened.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you've obviously been through quite a bit in your life. I'm curious, if you had a dream tonight, ran into the 18-year-old version of you, and you could give that young version of you a piece of advice based on the wisdom you've gained in your life, what advice would you impart on that young version of you?
Be 18. I would say be a kid for as long as you can. Be 18. Know that before real life starts with work and family, just do as much as you can at being a kid, and then have a plan, because I know even now, my main goal is to become like truly financially free. I want to be able to just not even worry about money, not even have to work forever. I know I'll always work forever because that's just in me. So I think, yeah, as an 18-year-old, enjoy, travel, go out, play, do sports, just be a kid, and then know that there will be a time shortly after that you need to buckle down.
Yeah. So let me
Yeah.
ask you this. Everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, all your clients, everybody that you know, but you ultimately run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I think I am a good person. I think I really want the best for everybody. I try hard to balance everything with a positive, good attitude. I think I'm a great mom, a good friend, a good daughter, sister. And I am I am a happy person. I feel like I'm always like made to be in customer service and made to be around people to grow together and be just like-minded and same dreams and goals, and surround myself with similar people, because that always makes me feel better and us better. But I do have a good heart and I do want more. I just feel I'm a person who's destined for more, and I just don't know how to get there as fast as I want. I'm not getting any younger, but I give my true heart and love. I feel like I just am working constantly, making people smile or feel happy or not worry, or just the shoulder and ears to always lean on. Yeah.
So if anybody wants to reach out, learn more about you, any of the good business, where's the best place for people to go?
Yes. So there's, well, okay, there's STR arbitrageblueprint.com. That's just to schedule a call with me. But my Facebook and or Instagram.
Well, this has been wonderful. Stephanie, thank you so much for your story. Thank you for your time, and best of luck with everything. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I thank you, and thank you for being such a great host.
Thanks for tuning in to another famous interview with Joe Dimino, where we cover the world of art, literature, business, spirituality, music, and more from around the globe. Our esteemed theme music was composed and produced by the great E.E. Pointer of Kansas City's River Cow Orchestra. If you want to hear more interviews, visit the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino channel on YouTube. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.